let's understand what sovereign means. Sovereign just doesn't mean that you own it. Sovereign also means that it's developed specifically for a market, for a use case, for a certain cultural application, right? So when we talk about sovereign applications and infrastructure in India, it has to be built in a manner where TCO is low, where it works for our cultural nuances, where models can work on that infrastructure that can deliver solutions to the problems that we're talking about. So sovereign is not just about AI in a box. It's also these multi-layers of pre-training, post-training, agentic workflows, all of which has to be owned and tuned for a market in particular. And I think India is a great case for sovereign infrastructure and sovereign AI. The reason is that most people think that ownership means more money. That's not true. In the AI landscape, I would say sovereignty actually over a period of time has a lower TCO or a lower total cost of ownership, which is great for India क्योंकि हमें सब सस्ता सुंदर और टिकाऊ चाहिए. So I think it's great. And India is definitely on the route to sovereign AI, both from an infrastructure as well as an application layer point of view.
Now, a lot of attention is being paid on frontier AI, but there are many cases of deep infrastructure being built across dimensions of AI, and be in enterprise or consumer-facing products XYZ. Now, when you say that AI will be private, looking at the larger phase of infrastructure, how do you evaluate India's hold right now? Because India's AI growth story is massive, the opportunity is massive. Where do you see the bottlenecks? Where do you see the challenge lying?
Okay, so two things. One is that our entire orientation towards private or sovereign AI is predicated on being agnostic of the infrastructure. So we can be private on the edge and we can be private on the data center as well. It's not necessary that it is exclusive to one size of infrastructure. The problem and opportunity is in India is the same, which is data. As a country, we generate humongous amounts of data, but this data also has to be captured, virtualized, and funneled in for the right learning after removing certain biases and keeping cultural nuances. So I think while building the India AI stack, the opportunity is that we have data, and the challenge and the biggest roadblock is that we have data. We just have a lot of it, too much of it, and any AI, right, whether it is frontier models or all of it is actually built on data, which has been generated by humans over centuries, right? And that is really the challenge and the opportunity. So India, of course, like I said, great opportunity for sovereign private AI. Same opportunity is the challenge, which is data.
There is a lot of conversations going on when it comes to building data centers. There is a lot more thrust on building it across the globe, be it in India or in the Western world. How do you look at this narrative of building huge data centers wherein you are bringing in something that's more portable and with you within the company? How do you look at the adoption rate going on?
It really depends on what sector you're talking about, right? I think given how diverse the landscape in India is and the way connectivity is and the way regulation is, portability will definitely be a much larger consideration in India than it's in the West, right? Also, this question was asked to me earlier as well. Yeah, we sent something to Mars at 1/50th the cost, right? Our orientation is how can we do something which is as good, better or stronger at a lower cost. This is in our culture. It's in our ethos to be frugal and to build great value at lower cost, right? In other hemispheres, that's not the case. They don't come from an economy of deprivation. So I think the data center model will work in India, definitely for certain use cases, but so will portability. So I think India is going to have both of these working quite well. There are certain large enterprise cases which will need data centers and which will work with data centers. But I would see that democratization will happen with a lot of portability as well.
Interesting. We are 100% at an inflection point where we see change happening really, really fast. Just the final bit of our conversation, Raj. As an entrepreneur, from that entrepreneurial lens, what is your next big milestone? Where are you headed?
So I think what we've launched today, which is agentic AI in a box, right? Which enables even the smallest enterprise, the smallest cog of our economy, to be able to harness AI and keep it private to themselves rather than be locked into a large hyperscaler. I think that's where the future is. That's why we keep saying the future of AI is private, and I think we will build, and we've been shouting this for 2 years, right? And now you've seen the privacy debate sort of coming up, right? In fact, last year, 90% of all AI projects failed across the spectrum because they hit a privacy breach at some point. So I think the big battle up for us, which we've started on, is making AI private, and that is what we look forward to.